everyone, it's Sami from Sami's Sweet Life, and I have had my iPhone and my Apple Watch now for a couple of days. I had a really good chance to play with both of them over the weekend, and so I can give you guys my initial review. I will learn more as I go, but I want to give you my initial reaction. I am coming from not having an Apple Watch at all. I wanted to come on here and tell you guys about my experience thus far. I know a lot of people on my unboxing video mentioned that they were really interested in more of a woman's perspective, especially on the bigger Apple Watch. Now, I have really big hands, I have really big wrists, and so the 44 millimeter just doesn't feel that huge to me. I think it fits my wrist really nicely. It's not something that's huge and bulky and cumbersome. I do find that it's a little bit heavy, so like if I've worn it all day, I can definitely notice that it's there. I don't think my arm gets sore or anything from carrying it. It's something I definitely think I will get used to over time, but right now, like, I feel it on my wrist. It is a pretty heavy little thing. So if you're worried about the bulk or the weight, I would highly recommend getting the smaller one because it is a little bit lighter and it is a little bit smaller. And like I said, my wrists are really big, so I don't think it looks, you know, crazy on my wrist to have the bigger one. If you do have smaller wrists, I would recommend getting the smaller one because it's a big thing. The screen on it seems plenty big. I don't feel like I'm like fumbling at all with my finger trying to point to the right thing, which I have really liked. So I'm glad that I got the bigger one. I probably could have gotten away with the smaller one now that they made the screens a lot bigger. When I played with them in the Apple Store, they were the previous sizes, the 38 and the 42 millimeters. And I found I really liked the 42 millimeters. I found the screen on the 38 to be a little too small for me. And I was having problems with the button mashing, like trying to find the right spot and not hitting the right button. But with this one, I feel like I have really had good luck being able to always tap the thing I want to tap. Now I am a lefty, so I'm left-handed. I'm wearing it on my right wrist and I have it upside down. So for you guys, the crown here is on this end. So that's just something to note. I do have it flipped upside down, and that was one of the reasons I wanted to go in the Apple Store. I didn't know if you could flip it upside down because as I'm using it, you know, it's very easy for me to use the crown on this side versus I'd be reaching really awkwardly to reach around to get to the other side. So I find, you know, being a left-handed person, having it on my right wrist, that I do need it flipped over. And that's totally something you go over under the settings when you're setting it up. You do have that option. If you're a lefty, you can have it what's basically considered upside down, but they give you an option of which wrist you're wearing it on and which side you want the crown on. Now, as far as like reviewing this, talking about all the specs, I'm just not gonna do that. I'm not a techie person. I'm using it as a stay-at-home mom that just wants to keep on top of appointments and priorities and fitness tracking. So those are my main things. I don't really care about the chip inside of it. I just want it to work. So if you want more technical details on thoughts on the speed and all that stuff compared to other watches, I don't have that experience. So this is my first time using a watch and it's lightning fast. I feel like I don't have any kind of lag or delay when I'm flipping through things. Now I will go to the overhead mount camera and show you guys like in real time and show you things that I like about it and don't like about it. But I find that it's just super smooth, just like I find with my phone. So even coming from the iPhone 6, the phone was speedy and snappy, and I feel like this is speedy and snappy. I'm not waiting for it a long time. I have used Siri on it a little bit, and I found that Siri was quick as well. Sometimes she will give me a message that says hold on before it like processes what I say. So I will get that hold on message every once in a while, but for the most part, as soon as I talk, Siri is doing whatever she needs to do, and I find it really helpful. I actually use the reminders app for my grocery list, and so I can just add things really easily. I don't have to necessarily have my phone with me. I can just do it from this. I can actually say, hey Siri. It actually picks up on my phone. So if I say, hey Siri, I've got my phone connected for that. Turn that off. There we go. And so I don't have it set up on my watch. I probably should, but I didn't want both of them going off. So right now it's just on my phone, but all you have to do is hold down the little crown and then you can talk to Siri. So that's really nice that I can just press the button, talk to her, add the thing to the grocery list or look up whatever I need to look up, set the timer. I do have the timer also on my home screen here. I have it as one of the complications. And so overall, I am really, really happy with the watch. I haven't really downloaded much except the Starbucks app, which I haven't even gone to Starbucks, so I haven't used that. I did set up Apple Pay, but I've never used Apple Pay before, so it's something that I'm gonna have to do at some point and experiment with. I'll go ahead and do the overhead mount for you guys and show you guys the ins and outs of what I really like about the watch so far. I wanted to actually mention this, that the Breathe app just came up. I'm going to turn this thing off. There is an option. You don't have to have the Breathe app remind you, but I don't find the breathing helpful at all. So I'm just going to mute it for today. It just popped up when I went to film this. So it is 6:02. I did change my screen here, and to change it, you just hold it down and then you can customize. And so you have the option of all of the different complications. You've got 2 in the top, 2 in the bottom, and 4 in the middle. But this one in the actual middle is a little bit different. You can move it, and there's a calendar one on here. I thought I saw it. There's actually a calendar. I'm going the wrong way. Oh, there's a world clock. But this one will actually scroll things like around the clock for some of the things, like the weather there. So you can have something up really big. I found that the only way to get the digital time on there is using this one. Like, you can't get the digital time to be any other spot. I wish that you had the option to do that. I wish you could also put any app in these. There's just a set list of apps that you can put on any of those spots. So I've got the weather condition, the actual temperature, the digital clock, because I do not read the analog clock as fast. And so I think it's just a lot easier for me to just glance and see it's 6:03 and then having to look at the hands. I actually like all the stuff on the screen. I also have the date. It's just the solar system right there. I thought it was cute. And then music, a timer, and then activity. And so I'm not gonna go into the details on anything on here, but a couple of the things I will point out. I love the timer. I have a 3-year-old, so this is so helpful for me. I can tell Siri, set the timer for a minute, but I also have that down here at the bottom, and it has the quick time. So 1 minute, 3, 5, and 10, and it's perfect because it seems like our whole day runs in 5-minute and 10-minute increments. When I'm trying to get us going somewhere, I'll say 5 more minutes or 10 more minutes, or you have 5 more minutes to play this before we do something. So it's really nice to always have that so easily accessible. And then when it's counting down, it will also show on the screen. Oops, go back. So if we're counting down 5 minutes, you can see it there, but also on your home screen, it will count down. So it says 4:55, 54, 53, and it'll count down there. So I'm going to turn that off because I don't really need it to set, but I love that it tells you that, and I can easily see that on the screen since like I said, I'm always looking for my phone to set a timer for whatever thing that we're doing. And so that's been really helpful. I also love having the calendar. I just tap that and I can get into our calendar. I am going to work on doing some time blocking for her hours where she's in preschool so I can be super productive. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted the watch, so it could work with my iCal. I'll have to do some sort of video with the Fitbit tracking versus the activity tracking on here. They are a little bit different, and I'll tell you what I like and what I don't like about either one of those. That'll be just a separate video topic. I do like that I can see it right there. It's something I'm still getting used to because I haven't had a watch before, so it's my first time really using activity. I've got to really get used to it more before I can do a video for you guys. The other thing I want to say, it was really easy to hook to my wireless earphones. I do not have AirPods. I just have cheapy Amazon wireless Bluetooth headphones. And so I found that pairing them was really easy, and I could listen to podcasts. I listened to a podcast on here last night, and also the music. And one thing I like, which I don't have them with me, but if I'm listening to music, I got some music for Olivia on here. There's the fox. It will have a little icon up here, and I do need to show you guys this at some point. There's a little red icon. I click that and I'm back to the podcast or whatever it is on my headphones. That's what I wished that the Fitbit Versa had. I wish it had some way that if you're on the home screen, you can get back to exactly what you're listening to, and even if you went back to the home screen. Whereas on the Fitbit Versa, I had to press a bunch of buttons to get back to the music to find exactly where I was, and I couldn't just easily pause it and skip music and things. Whereas this one I can, and I just tap that little red thing that pops up right up at the top when the music is going. So I just love that. It's super easy, and it's exactly what the Fitbit Versa should have been. And so anyway, that's something I really have liked. So as far as the watch goes, it's really smooth and easy to use. I'm still kind of getting used to it. I love this. You can just easily pick the apps. I did download specifically ESPN so I could have the football game scores for my husband. He likes watching college football. And I also downloaded the Starbucks app so I could order Starbucks, but I haven't used it yet. So I can't really tell you guys how those go yet. But so far, I've really loved the watch. That's really all I wanted to show you on here, except I'll show you my other watch face that I actually really liked using. I think it looks a little bit sleeker. This one is a lot of colors and a lot of things. And I had a little simpler one that I had set up. I'm using the modular one, so I used this one as well. It has the digital clock, calendar, and then you can pick 3 things down here as well. So you can customize this one. I think, yeah, you get to pick that. And also you can put one in here. So it gives you like a bigger look at whatever. So like tomorrow I'm gonna get my nails done. They're really overdue. But then you can pick whatever ones you want on this one. And I found that with this one, you can pick like the actual apps that you downloaded versus the other one that I was using. I couldn't pick the ESPN app, but this one I can. I can actually choose which things, like I had podcasts, the activity, messages on this one, and I actually had left the middle thing blank. But I love that I can flip back and forth. You know, if I want to be ultra productive, I can go back and have all the stuff on the watch screen, or if I want it to be really simple and minimal, I could go back to the other one. Another thing I wanted to show you about this actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I changed the color on here as well. So when you go to customize, so you see what I did? I scrolled it over and then I can pick what color. I had it on light pink, so it kind of matched my band. But they have tons of different colors you can choose. Pink sand, that's supposed to match exactly, but I like the light pink a little bit better. Okay, so I like that one. So there it is. So it looks really sleek and simple like that. You can still customize things. I think you actually get more customization because you can pick any apps that you have. So I find that really, really nice. But that's pretty much it for talking about the watch so far. Like I said, it was pretty heavy on my wrist. I am allergic to nickel, is the allergy that I have. And so far I haven't had any reaction with this at all. So I'm pretty sure they have said that they're nickel free. But just, you know, if you have an allergy, I don't think that I've had any problems with this so far. I do have it on a little tight, and I do feel like it gets clammy under there a little bit. I actually didn't wipe this down, so hopefully you guys can see, like, you know, skin particles and dirt and whatever get on there. And it is something you're gonna have to keep clean. So I'll just like use a baby wipe and clean this every day when I take it off. So before I get ready for bed, I just take it off, put it on its charger, and it stays there all night until the morning. And I haven't even gotten close to a low battery with how much I've used it so far. Another thing, I have it a little bit far back on my wrist. I was having it right here, but I found like moving my wrist was a little bit harder because this is pretty bulky. One thing to note, if you're new to the Apple Watch thing, you do have to insert your password once you put it back on your wrist. It says it's locked, so I will have to enter my passcode. Now that I took it off my wrist and put it back on, I can enter that. Then I won't have to unlock it again until I take it off again. So I haven't had any problem with the battery life. I mean, of course, if you're like on here all day, it would be a little bit hard on the battery, but I've not had a problem with the battery at all so far. That's all I want to say about the watch at this point. I'll probably do like a 30-day review, possibly for you guys. Let me know if that's something you're interested in, and I can do that for you once I, you know, really learn everything about it and get used to it. I still feel like I'm still in that learning phase of things. I'm just learning all the things about it. So that is really it for this video. I hope that you guys found this review helpful. I'm really glad that you guys liked my unboxing video. I really just had no idea the response I would get on that video. So I would be happy to answer questions. If you guys have questions, leave them in the comment section down below for me. I would try my best to answer questions in my next Apple video. I just didn't realize that people would really want to know, especially more about the watch on a female. And I'm like you guys, I watched a ton of Apple videos. Even after I had pre-ordered, I had watched a ton of the videos, and it's like the same people who just love everything Apple does, or it's the same people who, I don't know, try to cause trouble or try to point out all the negative things about Apple. So there's like two sides of watching the videos, and I want like a real life person, not a techie person, just telling me straight if they like it or don't like it, what they like, what they don't like. I don't really care about all the details in the chip and the nanometers, you know, the inside stuff, the techie stuff. I just want it to work, and I want it to be pretty flawless and easy to use. And so I really want to give you guys my opinion on that. So be sure to leave questions down below if you want my opinions on things or want me to answer things. I'm not a techie person, so don't ask me the technical questions, but I can give my opinions on things that I like and don't like. So I hope you found it helpful. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will catch you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.